First map coming up here, it's Envy and compLexity. And this is to decide who goes on to play tomorrow on TBS. Samlo, are you ready for it?
Yes, I absolutely am, because it's going to be a sick match, and also I'm digging this music. The map 5 music?
Yeah.
Good stuff. I like it. Got a good funk to it. All right. Envy won the knife round. That's one thing to take away from this. So they decided to stay on that CT side. compLexity are going to be the ones under the gun now. They have to go for that T side start. And already two guys going for the for utility straight up here for compLexity. We already have the short smoke going down, so Devil not going to be too effective. He does get spotted though, so compLexity has some information to go off of as far as the setup here for Envy.
Oh, and look at that. Devil actually trying to use that smoke against them because you know he can't be fired at from lower dark, so he's just trying to set that up. Nice shot from Apex, sort of fading away around the corner, going for a little bit more in the middle. Gonna be a double kill, triple for Apex. Would have maybe got the fourth in there, but Sank's taking him out. Devil and MBK to close out the round, and no issue at all. Just Apex hitting some really good shots. And this has been a talking point for Envy throughout the whole week, is that whenever Apex does well, it's almost like a vector for the team. You know, if he does well, then generally speaking, so is the team. So a little bit of a good start here. Might be problems for compLexity later on.
Yeah, you can be sure that they're going to be thinking that as well. Like, great. Is it this kind of Apex that's showing up today? Because if it is, life just got a whole lot harder. We already have to worry about guys like Happy and Kenny. Do we really have to worry about Apex too? Nice nades. The anti-rush nades going into Longhouse there from EnVyUs, so they aren't skimping on the nades to begin with. They do chuck those down, and Whitmer takes a lot of damage. But they know that, EnVyUs that is, know that they're up against an eco round here from compLexity, that compLexity just aren't going to have the money to go for a buy. A full buy, that is, so they're playing it a little loose. Actually, MBK getting caught off guard. That jumping scout, Surreal hits a headshot on Apex. That's a B-side open.
Yes, it is. And if you notice, they didn't buy everything on compLexity. Most of them didn't have armor, so this is a bit strange. Happy doing a good job here, and he should be able to clean up Sanks as well. He's very low on health, so I don't think Envy are going to even come close to losing this round. But there's actually more money on compLexity than you normally would have, so I'm a bit curious about that one. They didn't get the bomb plant down in the first round, so you'd think that they would sort of just buy whatever they could here, but they have sort of held it back a little bit.
There's quite a bit of patience here from compLexity. I mean, they're both very low. Whitmer, again, he's got that deagle. He took the damage. He's still been spotted there by Happy at top mid, so Devil's going to be able to rotate in to support his mate, and Kenny has now got control of upper dark. So it's going to be on Sanks, taking his time with this. Sanks has also been an excellent player so far for compLexity. I mean, Surreal got a lot of attention, but Sanks, in some of the key rounds for compLexity that allowed them to actually, you know, keep the maps close or even win a map yesterday, or over the past 2 days for the group phase, Sanks has stood out for me as one of the main factors of that for compLexity, that he has been hitting those shots.
Yeah, and there's been, I mean, just to talk a bit about the compLexity people, Android had a pretty good game on Trainer, I think, yesterday, did some good stuff, and Whitmer, I think, has been showing sort of a lot of aggression when he gets the AWP in his hands, so there's something to look out for. Like, we are still learning a lot about these players, so it's worth taking a note of every once in a while what their playstyles appear to be like. Good grenades are coming out here, and Happy's going to go for a bit of a charge in. Does some very good damage with that MP9, and now he's got the deagle to try and follow it up. That grenade will soften up Sanks a little bit. Happy not going to get an ace, just a triple kill. Whitmer should be whittled down as well. Grenade, I think, did more damage to Kenny, but it's not a problem.
Overall, though, that's over the past 2 rounds. That's a lot of money for Happy. He starts the round off with 8.5 thousand, right? So he gets to just buy whatever he wants here. No problem at all. Still even has some money in the bank left over. There's quite a solid economy here for Envy because compLexity haven't really gotten too much damage in over the second and third round. But going into the 4th round, this is why compLexity were trying to manage their economy, trying to save the money and not go for the full Kevlar buy in the 2nd round. They wanted to have more nades to work with in the round that comes, in the 4th round buy. So we do have that glass cannon AWP on Whitmer. He takes the shot, attempting the gap, not going to get it. But now EnVyUs know at least, okay, right, compLexity had enough money for an AWP. We can expect them to have a decent economy here to go for the rifles as well.
Look at that. They're smoking off for Happy. He's using that as a wall behind him. Envy, just no respect at all. Imagine if someone came through to check that. He would immediately be down. That's such a great play. Because they also have the boost going up to Catwalk, and they're going to be looking down lower dark. You see it here. So if there had been any kind of attempt early on from compLexity to take middle, chances are they would have had one loss to Kenny with the AWP, and if they try and push forward, suddenly Happy's there shooting them from the middle, and it all goes bad. What a great idea.
I do like just how patient compLexity have been, though. Look at this. Oh, Whitmer! They both missed the shot, but he unscopes right as Kenny was about to come around the corner. That would have been just insanely frustrating for Whitmer, but they both, lucky for him, he gets a lucky break there because Kenny misses the shot as well. That could have been horrible for compLexity, but now compLexity, they're running out of time. They're looking to make the play. Whitmer's going to find the pick on Kenny at long. They do know that there's a second man who made it across, though. That's Devil in the pit. Devil picks up 1 kill, lining him up. No, Whitmer actually helps. He gets the team kill on Surreal. I thought that was NBK with the 2-for-1. Instead, it's NBK finding the one, and he actually brings it back to a 2-on-2 here.
I think Surreal might have practically been shot from both sides, and one of them was an NV player, and on the other side it was Whitmer. That was a little bit chaotic, a little bit confusing. Sanks, though, is going to get the bomb down, and now Apex has to move up. Molotov being put out to catwalk, and Apex has a couple of grenades of his own right now. That little fall down, not sure if Sanks heard it. Apex is not checking behind him. He's just walking straight up here. Could be shot in the back of the head at any point in time, and there it is. Sanks going to pick it up. Double kill for him, and compLexity winning a 4th round. And look at this chaos here. So that's a great flick from Whitmer. Really good job. But the following sort of madness that unfolded, it's going to be hard to tell exactly what happened.
I mean, compLexity continued to deliver in the clutch. That's one thing to take away from this team is that sometimes it can be a little shaky when they're getting their executes going or when they're trying to hold on the CT side when the team play comes in because they're still a relatively new roster. They have 2 British players that have just made their way over. Not a whole lot of time to work with and polish those sorts of things, right? But when it comes down to the individual plays, compLexity, they're showing that they have some very smart players they can rely on to win those key rounds to keep them in the fight. So compLexity with the clutch win over EnVyUs in the 4th round. Going into the 5th round, it's a bit of a half buy coming in here from EnVyUs, and they tried to stack it long. compLexity just runs right into him, and nice headshot there from Def. It looked like he was going to be a dead man there for a moment.
Yeah, and for Envy, I mean, a bit upsetting. You win 3 in a row, and as soon as you lose the 4th round, you're ecoing. Now they can buy again, but it means their economy is already fairly strained. And this is the one big thing, I think. If you're a team that is sort of as big as Envy is, and you're playing compLexity in a best of 3, if things start to go downhill, you're really going to start to ask some questions. It's going to feel like the major's coming up in just a week's time, and we're playing at this level. We've got to do better, right? So there's definitely, I think, got to be a lot of pressure mentally on Envy if things start to go the wrong way.
Especially the frustration because they've been boot camping. All the teams, I mean, most of the top teams have been boot camping in preparation for the major, but Envy were also putting in a lot of hard work coming into this week here at E-League. So, yeah, if it's not paying off, if you're not just crushing a team like compLexity before you go into the major, there's definitely going to be some frustration, especially considering they changed up the in-game leader recently. It's no longer Happy calling the shots, it's Devil. And so, a lot of change for Envy. And sometimes that's tough to make it work in a LAN setting where the pressure is on. Well, we have 2 fairly even buys coming out here for both teams. compLexity running a little bit low on nades for Sanks and Def, but everybody has their rifle. Apart from Whitmer, he doesn't actually go for the op. EnVyUs, though, that's Kenny playing passively on catwalk, waiting for compLexity to go through the motions and clear out catwalk. So hopefully he can find a shot here, and he's not going to hit the flick.
No, even had a little bit of warning with the Molotov in there to check out the stairwell, so he could have known that something was up now. Happy is creeping back in here to try and see if he could maybe move into position. They're right on the other side trying to switch up. Is he going to be flashed in? There's the pop flash going through. Happy picking up 1. But Sanks wasn't flashed. He was around the corner, so that's a very good refrag coming in. It leaves Kenny alone on the bomb side, and now is where we need to see some of that AWP skill because they really need it right now. Otherwise, they might lose this round as well. Flick not quite going to connect down in CT spawn. Apex, oh, he's trying to get through. That flashbang is so well timed. Then Kenny's going to go down. Apex to fall, Devil to fall. And NBK alone with a scout in a 1-on-3. Best he could do, I think, is save a rifle and run away. That flashbang on Apex was so perfect.
And you can't even actually go for a rifle. They're all so far up on slope. But you're right, that flash, I mean, that's just something you kind of have to just shake your head at sometimes. Where it's just like, right, timing didn't work out. It was impeccable. Apex, if he'd have got that kill, it might have been fast enough for compLexity to not be able to capitalize on that or trade effectively. But the fact that that flash bought just that extra second of time for compLexity to set up kind of just ruined it.
Yeah, and I mean, it'd be interesting to find out where did the flashbang come from. We'd almost need, I think, a sort of a bird's eye view of that because there are so many people throwing flashbangs there. But if it was a teammate throwing it from long or something like that, that would be a bit of a horrible way to lose a round. compLexity gonna win it and make it 3-2, puts Envy back on pistols. 6
rounds. Are we going to get it? Who
Jump
actually
is going
throws
to
it?
come down. I think that was
Terrorist.
it.
It was a terrorist, yeah.
No, no.
From catwalk.
Was it? Are you sure
Yeah.
about that?
Looked like a flash that came
I think
out
that
over
came
here.
earlier. Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, but there's one coming in from long as well.
There is one coming in from
From
long. Maybe
CT.
both going off.
Oh man, yeah, that's a very interesting question. Those are small details that can have really big impacts on the round. Because you're right, there was one from catwalk. There was also one from long. I'm not sure which one ultimately ended Apex.
Maybe it was both. Like with that op shot earlier.
Yeah.
Who knows who got the frag? Right? Who got the kill? Who did the most damage? Thanks though. This is some aggression from Envy, and this is what Envy are known for. When they don't respect an opponent, they're just going to play super aggressive on CT side. And so when they're ecoing like this, they're going to just go ahead and push up the top mid, try and throw a loop in things, or try and throw a hitch in things for compLexity. But that's just not going to happen here for compLexity. compLexity looking for the long-range fights with these rifles. Take over long. Surreal finds Kenny S on the site. Android peeks out, removes Apex. MBK through the smoke is going to find a shot on Android. So that's just a little bit of an unlucky situation there for Android. But it's not the end of the world. compLexity will eventually get that A site. And they have the advantage in the hold as well. MBK might be tempted to just hold on to the scout for the next round, not really push too much, not challenge too much. As I say that, Sanks finds him, so never mind. Now it's on Happy to see if he can find a pick somewhere. But there's no reason for compLexity to run out into Longhouse right now. They can just sit and pit, not have to move. And that's actually Whitmer over there with the AWP. Left alone, not a huge fan of that, but it looks like Sanks is going to come back to back him up. So in the end, it actually works. The buddy system here in play for compLexity.
Yeah, you're all right. I mean, there is no reason to give Envy an easy sort of into the game. Just trying to see if you can keep him out for as long as possible. Happy waiting, and Sanks will go for the fight and win it. Whew. It's got to feel really good. I mean, right now, compLexity, that's 4 rounds in a row. And Sanks with 11-2 and 3 as a scoreline right now. Def hasn't even, I mean, he's killed one person. So he's at 1-1 and 5, but it's working out very well all the same. And speaking of Kenny, he's got 2 kills just yet. He needs to really start hitting some of these shots with the AWP.
Yeah, he's had 2 opportunities to hit a flick shot, basically. It's a bit of a demanding shot, right? That's fair, but he needs to start connecting with these flicks. That's what he's known for. There's the second flash. That's going to force Whitmer off the angle, and now Kenny actually gets to hold. Puts a little bit of a shot through in case that flash was trying to, well, because that's the fun thing with the Oppers now, because you can't move as quickly with the scopes. Nades have come into play to give Oppers an advantage when it comes to actually peeking into an angle, that flash, and so it starts turning into who's going to trade the flash and who's going to peek behind the flash. So it's another level there in the Op duel. But this time Kenny wins it. Keeps control of long. Devil's just, that's usually where he hangs out, so he'll be just staying there. And Envy, they really are a big fan. Like we saw it earlier when they played Dust 2 as well. They seem to be a real fan of just setting up with this standard kind of hold where it's 2 guys holding solid on B and then the remaining 3 holding just 1 on site, 1 at cars, and 1 at pit. Like it's a very, very standard way of holding on Dust 2 for the CT side. Really nothing fancy coming out here from Envy.
We'll see if Envy are going to continue to have this similar kind of setup where they have sort of 2 on-site, 1 long, 2 B. Because if there eventually is a B split, then the rotation in from... Because there's no one in CT spawn is what I'm getting at. The way to defend the B split is going to be real tough, and that actually might be what they're setting up for now. You see Whitmer with the smoke grenade in his hand down in the middle. That's a classic indication, and now the smoke is going to pop for CT spawn as well. They're going to be rushing in, and NBK and Apex are in a lot of trouble right now. This is very hard to hold. NBK in the back line trying his best. Apex has gone down, and follow up on that is Android with a headshot. Kenny hoping to get someone crossing, but it's not going to happen, and they should not try to retake this.
There's no way. A 1-for-1 trade, that's not good enough when you have NBK there. He had 2 targets to take down. You can see Whitmer and Android took some damage, but he needs to at least find a 1-for-1 trade in that sort of scenario for Envy to be able to even think about retaking. Just not meant to be this time in Envy. They're getting rolled. compLexity taking advantage of that default setup. I mean, it's great. You pointed it out at the perfect time. That's the weakness of that setup. You're just trying to cover all points, but you don't have any presence in mid. If you're expecting there to be some kind of B split coming up from compLexity or some kind of play for mid control, you might even have Apex out on the slope in front of B site and then have somebody in CT. You might try and play off a crossfire, weaken your A defense a little bit, but... Oh, this is going to get pricey. Devil, 2, not going to get the 3rd. But he does make it a little bit more expensive here, and they just barely saved the op in time.
Yeah, doing the very best that he could, right? The problem is, even if Android doesn't hit that headshot, we see at the same time the sort of the rest of the terrorist forces moving in through the window. So either way, it would have been almost impossible for MBK to stay alive there. Yeah, very good read coming out of compLexity, and they did just have a couple of really successful rounds at A, right? So it's sort of good play for them to switch it around and say, all right, let's start going a little bit towards B as well. Now EnVy are in a really weird position because they seem to have no read on what the Americans are doing right now. Sank's going to be going down, and a nice move from Kenny.
Yeah, that's the kind of Kenny that you need to see here. If you're an EnVy fan, exactly that kind of Kenny. The guy who's just going to charge through the smoke and just, spear you with the AWP. Doesn't even need to take the shot. Apex catches Surreal on B slope, and this is that kind of ultra-aggressive side that EnVy really need to bring to the forefront here. They trail 3 rounds to 5, and compLexity, they're thinking, well, there's, it's going to be, we have to deal with a couple rifles that they'll have saved, but it shouldn't be too big of a problem. Instead, Devil's actually going to get the knife on Whitmer. It's an insult to injury.
You see Whitmer's reaction as well. I kind of like it because he wasn't even that mad. He was just like, yeah, okay, you do that. But yeah, this is definitely the version of Kenny that everyone prefers to see.
Yeah, that's the Kenny of old right there, a glimmer. We saw a glimmer of it there in that round. What Kenny is capable of, which is why he's often criticized, because and EnVy as a whole, it's something you kind of catch yourself doing. Well, very quick play coming out here from Long. We can go down to the first roll down memory lane later on. It's going to be a man advantage now for compLexity. They do manage to crack the defense here. Devil is down, but an early flash comes in from Happy, and he's going to get traded. No kills for Happy either. Just like that. Both of these rounds ultra aggressive right off the bat, and compLexity this time are the ones to come out ahead.
They do have 2-man lead right now. They're still pushing where they know the AWP is, and it doesn't make any sense for compLexity. They've got so much time. Why continue to force the issue? Just leave maybe one person there. MBK does get a kill in middle from the second AWP, but yeah, I'd say compLexity are trying a bit too much right now. Apex will be going down though. And Kenny, they have so many grenades to deal with him here. He's in a lot of trouble. Whitmer will take him out, but even if not, you see 3 Molotovs, which means Kenny would have been dead pretty much no matter what. And now MBK in the middle here. Great round coming out. compLexity making it 6-4. And just having a really good time here on the terrorist side of Dust 2.
Yeah, the struggle right now. MBK, he's not the Punisher right now. He looks more like the Punished, like he's struggling. Not sure if you can see that. Can you see that in the camera when you look at MBK? I think he's too close, but you can't really see. He's got a Punisher logo hat.
Does he?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
I was just looked over there. Yep, there it is. Oh, he's feeling the hurt. And EnVy, they just barely managed to cobble together a buy here, but they're very light on the nades. Only Happy with enough money for a kit, and compLexity looking to use this. This is where compLexity try to take full control of this half. They're not going to show any respect. They just charge out onto the B site. They're getting punished, though. Apex holding a car. 2 kills for him, making it pricey. Sanks and Surreal finally able to clear the site, but Happy's now rotated in. And it's all on Whitmer, and it's just not meant to be. 1v3 wasn't good enough. So, hold on. That seemed to me like compLexity were expecting EnVy to be either pistols or to have like a very weak buy there. I don't know if they were expecting to run into rifles like that.
I actually really like what they were just doing. I think it's a really good idea. I think what we're seeing right now is an attempt from compLexity to actually sort of outcall EnVy, just to try and see if they can't switch the way they attack enough. They've had very structured attacks on A. They've had the B split. Now we've got the rush into B. They're all the time trying to diversify and see if they can't make sure that EnVy have no idea what's happening. But it doesn't change the fact that EnVy are very good with the rifles. That still makes it very hard, but I really appreciate it. I think they're playing a pretty cool game right now. Sank's going to be playing long range against Kenny, and he takes him out as well. Now 3 versus 5, and another round here. compLexity should not be losing. And with that kind of a spray there, Sanks, I mean, the last couple of bullets going to the wall, but initially he was great. Happy up on the bomb site. They got the grenades to take care of him, but they can use the rifles instead. And now MBK with a scout trying to cover the cross. 1-on-3.
Not looking too good here, especially because they still have the smoke. He's going to try and get that gap shot in. Not going to happen, though. And now you actually have to just think about trying to save a scout, not even a rifle, not even an op. All he has to work with right now, MBK, is a scout going into a retake on A. It's possible if he can get a pick immediately. And that's what he's going to be hoping. You see him just jumping all over the place, and he will spot the man at barrels, will find the headshot on Surreal. Now a 1v2. And this is all on compLexity not peeking, not giving him anything to work with. Gets that smoke down to give himself some more room to work with here, but Whitmer Oh, scoped up top, misses the shot, not going to hit the flick. NBK instead is trying to hunt him down. And it's just not looking pretty here for NBK. He will eventually get flicked, or rather flanked by Def. What?
I love the energy. There's just a lot of good stuff coming out of the compLexity crowd that's slowly gathering up there. 7-5 currently right now is the scoreline. Sanks with 17 kills.
Yeah, Sanks is just taking off right now.
And the rest of the team has 23 combined. So just look at how much work he's doing.
I don't know. Right now, Sanks, he's just like, you're talking about surreal? Well, hold on. I've been doing work for the past 2 days, and I'm not giving up here. Android.
Why? Why stick around?
Flash, especially with the AWP, this is risky. They will get the punish. Oh, the big spray punish coming in here from Sanks. He's not. He's looking to just close the gap here. He's like, you guys have got 23? Right, okay, let me get up to 20 real quick. He will eventually fall. And what a pre-fire shot coming out from Apex, the shoulder peek, and he just manages to pick off Whitmer, turns it into a 2-on-2. But in the meantime, the B site, Surreal has worked his way out, and the bomb is making its way there now with Def.
I think that's a very good illustration of what happens if you're an underdog team that's winning a lot and suddenly you get into a position. Because if you ask them about it later on, if you do a post-game interview, ask, should we have stuck around when we saw that flashbang and we knew it was a setup? Should we have kept fighting it along? No one would say yes. It's not like they don't know that's a bad idea, but you know they're feeling so good right now. They think, let's just fight him. You know, we've got it going on. It almost becomes like an instinct, but it's something you definitely have to prevent. Good grenade there. Hitting Apex right in the face, and Happy now in a 1-on-2 without any armor means as soon as he gets tagged, the round is going to be over, and he doesn't have time anyway. I think the most he can do is make this very expensive for compLexity. He's going to try and sneak in here, gets a little bit of spray in, and just has to try and run away. So that will be 8-5, and moving into the 14th round in the middle here. Happy not even going to save the gun, and that's a big deal.
That is actually pretty frightful here for Envy. They go for the round of eco. At least they get some kills, but we're getting to the end of the half. It's not that big a deal anymore. compLexity have got 8 rounds on the board, 5 for Envy. I mean, what is interesting is because they actually make it a little bit more expensive. compLexity don't have any bank left. So we could have a scenario where Envy, they get a kill, or they shut down this round, and we could look at like a 7-8 end to the half for them, where they kind of bring it back on that CT side.
I think if Envy get 6 rounds, we still got a fair game on our hands. It's not what you would want considering the gap between these two teams in terms of skills, but it's possible, it's doable. Whitmer trying for a shot there, but again we have 2 and B, but this time we do have Happy in the middle, sort of Envy thinking maybe they would try a B split here in the 14th round, and then Happy's position can be quite good.
Def wired a little tight here. Putting some shots into the wall. It's all right though. A little bit of just an attempt to see if they can't get lucky through the smoke, through the mid doors. If Apex was holding on B slope.
Here's where the sickest part would be if instead of executing from the box like they did last time, they just walked in and threw the smoke sort of right into CT spawn for the B split, because that would catch at least some of Envy off guard. But seems like they are setting up on Catwalk, and that's been really good so far. Kenny hasn't been hitting very nearly any of these shots on Catwalk, so they can make it through again. Flashes in to try and force him out of the position. They've already down the CT spawn. He's got the FAMAS this time around as well. He's going to spray down one. Knows there's a second one coming. It's a good idea for Kenny, but he can't get the kill on Surreal, who picks up 2 instead and looking for a third. Not quite going to happen. It's now a 2-on-3 favoring Envy.
Yeah, this situation now favors Envy, exactly. They've got that man advantage, and Android is forced to go for a pretty weak plant, not the best plant. This is pretty much like the worst spot that you can plant in, because now Whitmer, you just have to stay on the site. You can't try and play off of the site, try and go towards Catwalk or towards Long. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to just cover the bomb. Now it's all on Whitmer, and he's going to hit the first flick on the Devil. Does he spot Apex coming up from CT? No, but now he knows that somebody's holding from there. Both players, in fact, making their way in, and NBK insults the jumping scout headshot from right below the lip. Whitmer just doesn't see it coming. And don't worry, it's not over yet, Lake. You know, don't burst into tears just yet. It looked pretty painful there for a second.
No, I think from compLexity's point of view, this whole week has been sort of more than we could have expected, right? Yeah, you see the tweet there as well from earlier. And I agree, like, regardless of what happens here, I think compLexity have shown more than anyone was expecting. So that in itself is pretty impressive. Now it's just a question of seeing how much further can they go. 8-6 being the scoreline moving into the 15th round, the last of the half here on the first map, and we'll see if they can net themselves a 9th round.
Yeah, we just have a quick technical pause here. Apparently, Warden got kicked, the coach of compLexity. So he's just relogging real quick. He'll be back into the game in just a few moments. A little bit of a breather here for Envy. They can decide how they want to handle this last round. Another clutch scenario, basically. Not too many clutch scenarios, actually, so far in this game. It's been fairly, one-sided. One team just crushes the other team, basically gets 2 kills at the beginning of the round, and then it's basically over, right? So it's been very one-sided rounds for either one. But the countdown has begun. We're back into it. 15th round here, last round of the first half, and compLexity forced to go for 3 Tech 9s, 2 AKs, and perhaps a burst of speed. Because it does look like, they have one guy holding over towards long. Do they actually try and charge this? It would be a bit suicidal considering NBK has taught them that he's always going to be having that incendiary up. Exactly, there it is. NBK is just chucking that incendiary out every round, and so compLexity know not to go for the rush towards B, otherwise they'll take a lot of damage.
It's also one of the things you tend to just do one round and a half, right? And as soon as you've done it, and they already did once, if you do it again, it's always a pretty good chance they will be ready for it. MBK is hiding close to the entrance here, and with Apex behind him, this is an alright setup for Envy, but now he might get caught out. He's sort of rotating back, that's a bit risky. Good spray, connecting on one and hiding behind there. Apex is down, and MBK is gonna fall. Whitmer charging them with the Tech 9 and Surreal in the middle, and he should actually fall back and play this. Don't re-peek it, there's no point. He's gonna do it anyway, and he does get the kill, but the sort of the ultra safe way of playing this is going back and hiding in lower dark just to make absolutely sure that they won't lose the round. Happy there, recoil was a bit off the first time around, that's interesting. Now it's a 1-on-3 here for Happy to try and win a 7th round for Envy. I doubt very much it'll happen. They do spot him out of the middle.
Immediately calls go out. There's still a flash left on Sanks. He's going to throw that out now. Even more time wasted, and there's no saving here for Happy. He has to get in there and find a way to kill 3 players who have got a Triangle of Doom set up on the site and defuse the bomb. At least he has a kit, but he has no life. Whitmer ends it. 9-6 at the end of the first half here. compLexity getting work done on the T side here for Dust 2.
How did both Apex and MBK end up on the plateau that way? That doesn't make any sense. That's not a position you'd ever try and go for. It made sense earlier because they had different angles, but that was actually pretty weird positioning coming out of Envy. So a little bit concerned about that. But I'm very excited about compLexity being up 9-6 versus Envy here on Dust 2 for the first half. We'll see if they can continue in the second half after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Do remember to go and download the Team Stream free app from Bleacher Report and follow the esports stream for all the latest E-League and esports news. And, already a bit of news here today because we've got compLexity leading 3 rounds over Envy on Dust 2. They did it on the terrorist side, which I think is the slightly easier side of the map. But still, considering how good EnVy are, you know, it's a big map. You got Kenny on your lineup. You're supposed to be getting a lot more rounds than 6.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit surprising. This comes down to the changes that are being made to how EnVy approach the game tactically, right? Not so much of a focus. They're going for more of a catch-all sort of strategy, which is, hey, we're just going to spread out real thin and count on the individual players on our roster, like winning their duels. Problem is, when that doesn't happen, the way that it happened in the first half, right, where it was constantly this back-and-forth battle, your setup looks a little weak. It's not so much the mind games. You're just trying to count on brute strength to carry you through. And they got hamstrung in the first half. I mean, I think I would have expected EnVyUs to be able to come out with a bit more than 6 rounds against compLexity.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, what, Kenny ending up with 5 kills or something, and Sanks with 20. So that's that also is a bit of a sort of a side story almost. Whitmer trying to see if he can control Long over here. They do put down a smoke to block him off, but the rest of compLexity have shown up to try and see if they can stop this Long push from being successful. But good shot there. Kenny going to be taking out Def, and that means they're going to get a bomb plant too. They're still controlling Long, which is very important. Let's see if they can get a real retake in here. compLexity, they're all pretty much here. They've already rotated in, so that's a good job, but they're also walking into a bit of a dangerous trap right now. Apex trying to survive, but oh, look at that coming into it. It's just Happy, but the bomb is planted on the other side of the boxes. He can't stop them from defusing. They haven't picked up a kid, so they'll take him. Oh, what? Happy taking 2 headshots, and just like that, the round is done. It's a triple kill for Happy. That's ridiculous.
That is nuts. That was so clean. We'll see it again from here. He spots the man jumping up. That actually forces Sanks to come off the bomb. That's as clean as it gets. 2 clicks, 2 kills. Oh, man. But that actually means that EnVy have now won both pistols in this game, so they have no excuses left. You know, that's actually something that we kind of overlooked, Anders. They got 3 easy rounds at the beginning of that first half as well, EnVy, and only ended up getting 6 rounds total. So they won the pistol, struggled throughout the regulation time, and now at least they start off strong here on T side. They've got that second pistol, so now it's up to compLexity to bide their time. Whitmer goes for the scout and kit. Android seems to be saving some money as well, but Sanks, Def, and Surreal, they're going for the force with the pistols and Kevlar.
Surreal is up there, hoping to spot someone out. Gonna quickly be falling back, doesn't want to take any kind of an extended fight. And Whitmer down in the middle, doesn't look like he's gonna get any targets right now. Indeed, a lot of it probably gonna be on Surreal, it seems. They haven't really done any damage to him just yet. Yeah, EnVy still picking up some good kills.
Yeah, compLexity trying to get aggressive on the map, hoping to catch somebody off guard in the dark there. Apex not exactly the best gun to be using for a long-range fight. Surreal with the deagle, trying to tap away, looking for the headshot, and he'll get 2, actually. He takes down Apex and somehow gets the follow-up on Devil. But that...
I love to
Did you hear it too?
No, I'd love to see what Apex says after that.
Not only that, yeah, okay.
Oh, man. What did you hear?
It sounded like that, like he had a rhythm to the tapping. Da, 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 da. What is that song?
I feel like that's elaborate if that's it. Look,
it's like, it's not possible, it's not possible.
He just looks so confused, doesn't he?
And then he's madly typing into his, you know, like, why can't I tap halfway across the map? All right, I like Devil's shots a little bit better there. Or Surreal, rather. Devil taking one to the head.
Yeah, trying to put some pressure on EnVy. But compLexity don't have really anything this round, so probably going to be a chance for EnVy to tie up the scoreline at 9-9. And at that point, it's such an open game, impossible to know who's going to end up winning it. I'd like to see more players from compLexity come in to the game a little bit here, not just Sanks. So they need some backup from him. Sanks and Surreal are playing really well. Android and Def are a little bit behind.
Yeah, and you're putting it nicely. You're being a gent. Because 4 and 6 going into the 18th round, that's not cutting it. Still, it is going to be the all-out aggression here on Long. Happy just charging in solo, but solid distraction. Trying to set it up. Apex actually checks for Sanks and just snuffs him. Gets a second headshot as well onto Android. And Kenius going to rob him of both remaining kills. But still, I mean, Apex is warming up. And on T side, Apex, when he's hitting shots, that's when EnVy just look indestructible. They look unstoppable.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Duncan was bringing up this point on the desk yesterday that the sort of part of the reason it's so terrifying when Apex is doing well is because it's the entry-fragger on the T side, right? And I think that's a very valid point. When he's dropping 25 kills, those are kills that you know, on the CT side, you needed to defend the bomb side with, right? You needed those people to be alive to hold on to our side, and suddenly they're not. So That's definitely true. Apex going to be charging in right around the corner. They're so flashed, and maybe one of the few times you wish he didn't have a Mac 10, because they are getting slaughtered against these M4 out here. And a good little reminder that there is a real difference between what kind of rifles you're going to end up buying. They will get the bomb down here, but it's a 2-on-4. They do have 2 Molotovs, and there's only 2 smokes left on complexity. So if they end up using the smokes incorrectly, maybe these Molotovs could wreck the round for them. One of them going up, that was from Envy, I think, just helping a little bit. But they are saving both the Molotovs here. This is going to be interesting. 1 grenade left here on Surreal. They need it. The first one going to come in, and now Surreal certainly going to pop his.
Yeah, he's just going to cancel that out. Boop. Gets on the bomb, but Devil crouching on the edge of the smoke. Smart play from Devil. Just denies the defuse. Now they have to worry about actually finding the kit before they can get on that bomb complexity. There will be a big spray fight coming through, and Sanks will take down Happy through the smoke. Eventually going to find the kill on Devil, but now there's just not enough time. Envy will wind up winning that clutch situation, and they will come back and just take it 10-9. This is, I mean, after such a strong start for complexity. But yeah, man, like,
It's so...
When Apex holds on to a Mac 10, I just want to, you know, just, come on, bro. Like, if you actually just had an AK in that scenario.
Yeah, that could have been all 3 people dead on long with how flashed they were. Definitely could have been. It's so interesting how that A bomb side has ended up working. Maybe the sort of the very, very new members of the community won't sort of remember, but it's actually a relatively recent addition that you can plant on the catwalk side of the boxes. That was only added recently, sort of in Counter-Strike history. So, but it does give this great gameplay where you end up sort of, if you defend short well enough, and especially if you save grenades for it, you could really have a bit of a lockdown on it. So it really matters where you put the bomb down, and it was a good read from Envy to see that they saw that coming as soon as they put the bomb down.
Yeah, it gives the terrorist side options, right? They don't have to worry about long anymore. You can actually just run up, like we saw there, right? They don't have control of long, but they're still just going to run up, plant that bomb, and keep control of catwalk, which is how they got onto the site in the first place. That's what it's all about. Some variety here on the A side, and Envy, they look to at least put some pressure over here again. Android has managed to sneak his way up behind, though. Nobody watching mid right now. He might be able to just run up right behind 3 players here for Envy. This could be huge. He will get spotted. Unfortunately for him, Happy rotates over from long just in time to stop that trap from closing. And Happy picking up both kills in mid.
It's a real shame, because you definitely got the sense that could have been interesting. There's Sanks going down, so no bomb plant needed. That's Happy picking up a triple kill. And we're looking at an 11-9 scoreline, favoring Envy with Sanks still at 23, but Happy's catching up. He's at 21 kills. And even Kenny's starting to put something on the board here. So yeah. Things are getting more interesting for Envy.
Both Devil and Kenny have actually had some pretty high impact kills. I mean, Devil in particular with the deny on the defuse.
Yeah, but even in the first half, actually, Devil had more kills than Kenny did. Kenny was at the very bottom of the scoreboard for the first half, so it's nice to see him step it up a little bit, especially if it's true what they're saying, that they want to make him sort of more of a core role. It always seems to have been the weakness for Kenny, is that he doesn't always seem to handle the pressure well enough, which is something that's really hard to overcome. Ask any number of top players. Device comes to mind. Whitmer is here, trying to cover the cross. Gonna get flashed out for the moment. Flick shot not quite gonna connect there. And that will result in a bomb plant here now. A 3 versus 5 retake. Considering the money for complexity, unless they get a really quick couple of kills here, I don't think it's worth it. Better to just save what they have. There's 1, so they can afford to go a little bit closer. But again, at the first sign of resistance, any kind of Molotov going down to buy time, and they should be backing off. And there's 2 go down, and this is the problem, right? No chance at all. Could have even been a knife kill there. Devil seems to be having a good time. 12-9.
Devil going for the knife kill. Like, total lack of respect being shown here. I mean, sure, he just hit 2 6 shots and cleared out long. That was Whitmer with the AWP as well. It shouldn't be possible for him to take that long fight and win it, especially against an op. But I think at this point right now, things are just getting a little out of control, because Envy, that you can clearly tell, they're starting to feel confident. They're willing to go for big plays. Very snap decision there as well to make off of NBK's initial pick on B. They know that somebody's going to rotate over from A to try and, you know, bolster the defense on that side of the map. So what do? They just run straight up catwalk onto A site. I mean, very smart stuff coming out here from Envy. Everything seems to be going right for him. And Happy to open things up with a pick on Def. Another round of eco coming in here for complexity, though, so we should expect to see Envy get up to 13 rounds fairly comfortably.
This is a real shame, and it isn't the first time that we bring it up. This difference between playing on the terrorist and the CT side. Right now, compLexity struggling on the CT side to figure out exactly how to get the remaining rounds in. We saw it from Gambit, I think, yesterday as well. Playing a much better T side than they did the CT side.
Well, I think what we can see now is just the impact that Sanks has been having for compLexity. He just tore through Envy in the first half, but in both scenarios for him on that B site, there's the flying knife. Devil.
Oh no!
Just no chill with this guy.
But I like that. I feel like Devil, and I can understand why on sort of a personal level, right? You get picked up from sort of some obscure French team, and then you get put into Envy, you know, huge brand, huge team, you know, major championship winning team, and now you're expected to sort of fill the shoes of some pretty big players. Mm-hmm. You know, he's trying to take over from Shocks and Smiths and all of that. But he seemed a little bit timid, I feel like. He seemed like very restrained. Also, I think even just when he's done, like, you know, when people talk to him in general, he seems like if you meet Envy in the lobby, is what I'm saying, at the hotel, he seems to be the guy who's sort of the furthest back in the group. And obviously, all the rest of us, we know the other players. But still, I think he's a little bit intimidated by, like, the whole experience. So actually, I think it's quite good if he's doing stuff like this. Is it the best play possible? Is it like the optimal play to knife people? Definitely not. But if that's what it takes for him to sort of break out of his shell a little bit, I kind of like that. And the fact is, obviously, I mean, this is no secret. They do need him. He is unquestionably the weak link right now in the team. Mm-hmm. So something's going to have to change, and maybe this is it.
He's got some strong maps, but then, you know, so where you start to see where he can shine. Like, he can get some good sprays. He's very clever with as we saw there, that one-on-one sort of scenario. But yeah, there's a few maps where he just kind of disappears as well, and that you can't really have that when you're trying to play to win tournaments, right? If you're going to go up against the best where there is no weak link, you know, it'll show when somebody's not there to pull their weight, to carry their weight. Nex is looking so confused right now. That's the manager.
Yeah, has been for a long time. Apex here, you know. Yesterday, you see the ADR there, 70. This time, so far today at least, obviously fewer maps played, but still close to 100. So pretty good stuff today, it seems.
Yeah, he's definitely, I mean, this is where it's like night or day. You can see this immediately with Envy. When Apex is there to lead the way on T side and he's hitting headshots, that's when Envy look unstoppable. So we have to see compLexity. It's time. They need to figure out how they want to handle this. 4 rifles, AWP.
Did you say headshots or hen shots?
Did I say hen shots?
There are no chickens on this map.
There are no chickens.
Otherwise, a hen shot would be a real.
Well, maybe I'm being, you know, like gender neutral, right? You know, it's like a hen. You know, in Sweden, that's what they say, right? You know, it's not he or she, it's hen.
Yeah, let's definitely not talk about that. I see what path you're trying to lead me down, but that's a topic for an entirely different type of show that we're not going to do right now.
Not even a little. Not even a nibble.
Problem is, we open those floodgates, there is no closing them. It's Def and Sanks in the middle, and actually looks like Def wants to look like he wanted to peek that corner, a little bit risky. Ball making its way up, and they can hear so much of that from Def's position, so we'll see if they can make some use of it. I feel like compLexity are sort of out of rounds to shuffle around with. They need to make a big play here. That was an interesting peek from Kenny, crouching into the position, and he's actually sort of standing up in that angle. So I think that would have been great if someone had been holding up on Goose, but Surreal and Whitmer down on long, and bomb site's pretty much overrun with terrorists, so right now it's going to have to be a full retake here for compLexity.
This is that horrible guessing game right now, because Envy have just pretty much only hit A site on this T side. And so on compLexity, they're thinking, right, timeout. They're gonna think. They may try and change things up. They may try and pull a fast one on us, so they may actually go towards B for the second time this half. Instead, Envy are like, nah, we're just going to keep going A. So you're going to have that crossfire in mid. It's going to be completely useless against what we set up here. And Devil finds a headshot on Surreal. MBK's there to pick off Sanks. Man is out in the open. Whitmer will hold his own, pick up 1 kill, but it's still a 1v4 scenario for him. Now a 1v3, but it's not good enough. He's going to try and pick up that AWP and make a run for it, but NBK will not allow him to save. So 14-9. And yeah, I mean, it's literally that. It's just like Envy just keep going A. And so it turns into a guessing game for Def, right? Where it's just like, okay, when are they actually going to try and change things up and go B? Just to throw us for a loop, right?
Yeah, and it's tough because they're out of rounds to guess with now. You know, we got 14-9. They feel like they have to force, and maybe they do. I think playing for overtime, if you're 9-59 is not exactly better than it is just trying to see if you can maybe make a full comeback here. Happy over at long being a little bit annoying, and I think that's about the time where compLexity realized there's not actually going to be a long push. They were just looking for a fight.
Then they do change it up. Now they're going to actually, it seems like they have, yeah, 2 players moving up on catwalk here for compLexity. So this is interesting. Envy have been very thorough with their cat takes, obviously. So Surreal's going to hold the line for now, but Kenny and Devil getting the double kill just completely shadows the defense here on A site. And now it's left up to the rotators coming in from B. And they even get spotted. They just can't catch a break here, compLexity. Sanks out in the open. Kenny misses the shot, though, and he's shooting the heels off from like a spaghetti western here, but Kenny eventually going to find the headshot on him.
And MBK was coming in from behind regardless, so there was never any way out here. Envy just slow out the gates, but now, you know, here in the second half, you can tell that they're just overrunning them. And compLexity, they've never had a chance to get, you know, their feet on the ground here on the CT side. There's no rounds they can look back on and say, well, that worked. They've won 0 rounds in the second half here. Devil up to 17 kills. He's really starting to catch up here.
Oh. No shot? Okay. Passive hold from Whitmer instead, not going to challenge. Now, compLexity are the ones who want to take the fight to EnVyUs, and well, that's an interesting start. 1-for-1 trade. Unfortunate that MBK is still able to find the headshot on Android. And compLexity not really choosing to go in. Instead, it's Sanks who just finds Apex lurking. So there's the big kills that can make the difference here for compLexity. They're so low on nades, but if they maintain that man advantage, this can still be solid. Whitmer spots them moving out on long here for Envy, so not sure if he actually got a shot in. Did he do some damage?
He did, yeah, with the scout, sadly. But it's still some good damage. Surreal very nearly running Happy down, but I mean, 3-on-3, if you consider the sort of combined health of Envy is still not that much, you think they should be able to win this round from compLexity's point of view. Make it 15-10. They've got a lot of time, Envy, so if compLexity get anxious and start moving around too much, you know, just running all over the map, they could get picked off, especially with Kenny in the middle here. Gotta be careful.
So this is all unhappy. He actually, is he going to take a shot? Is he going to stomp around? He's making some noise, and the 2 guys holding on catwalk are going to hear the steps. They were close enough to hear him stepping around over here, so that's why they aren't really changing up. They're fully committed to that catwalk hold, expecting another split perhaps to come in. But instead, Envy are working their way towards that B site. So smart play here from Envy. Now's a good time to shift things up. Start heading over towards B.
Problem is, once the bomb goes down, they have to rotate past Happy. And this is one of those things where when the pressure is on and you've been losing a lot, you forget some of the fundamental stuff. And that's checking all of the map when you're rotating there. Kenny going to be taking down Def, and now they are rotating right past there. Happy going to miss the shot, in fact, maybe a little bit too quick with that one. And Sanks will take him out for a double kill now. Good flashbang coming in, and Whitmer can't see a thing. And it's a simultaneous kill. That Devil, how did he get both of them? Did he line up behind him? I have no idea what just happened. That's going to be Envy winning 16-9, though. And compLexity, great first half. Very hard for them to follow it up afterwards. And you can just tell, I think, a lot of work is needed on their CT side. So again, more stuff for them to go back and look at when they go back and do all the homework, go back to the drawing board. Yeah, they've got some 9 good rounds on the T side to sort of to look at and think what happened, what worked. On the CT side, they need more.
Yeah, they need to figure it out. They're just happy. They're refining, but it is going to be the break.